Welcome to the Motormouth YouTube channel. I'm Zach.
I'm Andrea.
And we do full-length car reviews each and every week, and we stop halfway through for a segment called Questions, Coffee, and Cars. We spun it off, and we're up to number 58. How do you get a question in?
Follow along on Instagram at Motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific time, I put a post out. Once we gather our questions, the post is deleted, and we start the show.
Time now for Questions, Coffee, and Cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
Looking for a commuter car, mainly city driving, that does well, checking the following boxes: good visibility, ride and seat comfort, infotainment, ease of use, and good reliability. My initial thoughts are the Kia Forte or the Nissan Sentra.
Both are good choices. I would throw in there the Subaru Impreza as well, because the Impreza has great windows and doors, same as the Crosstrek. People don't believe it's a different car, but it is the same body shape as the Crosstrek. Those are both excellent choices. The Sentra is real value.
Yeah,
it's
comfortable.
It's really the value leader.
I would go for the Honda Civic, or I would go for the Toyota Corolla. I mean, if you're really looking for great reliability, those two are number one. That doesn't mean that the Forte and the Sentra don't get good reliability scores. They do as well, but Consumer Reports has put the Sentra a little bit lower than the others, so keep that in mind. But I think that they're all good options. Even the Hyundai Elantra, it's one of the bigger ones in this class, so I think reliability wise you're pretty good. Hey guys, I watch all your videos. Thank you. So entertaining. If you only had $15,000 to spend on your daily as a single person, what used car would you buy?
Well, back to the last question, it would be a Corolla or it would be a Civic. Just find a good used Civic or Corolla. Make sure you get it inspected. Make sure you're buying it from a reputable dealership, if it's a dealership.
Yeah.
And just maintain it, and it'll run indefinitely if you maintain it properly.
For me, if I was going with the non-luxury category, I mean, obviously it depends how old of a vehicle you get, but I would go with the Honda Civic hatchback manual transmission. I think that would be a lot of fun. What do you think that we can expect from the forthcoming Forester hybrid? Will it be a disappointing half-baked hybrid like the short-lived Crosstrek hybrid, or will it be more like what Toyota has done with the RAV4? So first off, the Crosstrek was a plug-in hybrid, not just a hybrid, but you're right. It didn't offer a lot of range, and it really wasn't available in many places, especially in Canada, Quebec mostly, and apparently in BC, although I don't think I ever saw one on the road.
Yeah, for 6 minutes it was for sale. Okay, so if you're not aware, Subaru is partly owned by Toyota.
Yeah.
And the Forester is going to be using the Toyota Hybrid Synergy Drive. What we believe, we haven't been confirmed here, is what they're going to do is they're going to mate that already very efficient system to the Subaru engine. So that's the gasoline engine, will be mated to Toyota's Synergy Drive system. How they go about that, I'm not sure, but that's how they keep it a pure Subaru, by having a Subaru engine.
I am super excited about that one. I know many of you are as well. We have been waiting for Subaru to come forward with a hybrid. The Forester is a great start. It is already such a popular choice for many. Terrific safety features, as well as a terrific all-wheel drive system.
So it's going to be about a year from now. Actually,
2025.
Yeah, so the Forester gas isn't on sale yet,
No.
but it'll be a year after that is when the hybrid's coming.
What's your views on the Mitsubishi Outlander regarding performance and reliability? Is it going to be good for someone who is looking to buy it for a long time rather than selling it? So why don't we start with the gas model? I think that it's a great product. Just something to keep in mind that it's a little bit sluggish on the highway. You've got to really pack a lunch if you're going to accelerate.
Pass.
And pass on the highway. I mean, that one is a tough one. That's the only thing that bothers me about the Outlander gas model.
Yeah, and they got rid of the V6, so it's now just the 4-cylinder. And by the way, Outlander is standard with 3 rows of seats. The little jump seats at the back are tiny and only for kids. And just keep that in mind. You're not buying a pure 3-row.
No, and also there's a ton of trim, so you can find one for all different budgets, which I think is a real bonus with the Outlander.
Okay, so the cold snap that grips trip North America over the last week has really shown some warts with the Outlander. We had
plug-in hybrid.
Yeah, the plug-in hybrid. We had a video that dropped just a few days ago, and you can watch it. I'll link to it right here. And we had reports out of Alberta where the temperature got down to about minus 40 degrees Celsius, which is where Fahrenheit and Celsius meet. At minus 40.
Issues started at minus 20 degrees Celsius, minus 4 Fahrenheit.
So the car bricked, basically. The battery wouldn't take a charge, it wouldn't start, and owners couldn't drive them.
No, and here's a few comments that I wrote out. Honestly, I regret my purchase now, especially in the winter. This is definitely one of the worst cars for only gas economy. In Winnipeg winter, it lacks EV mode for almost 4 months. Moreover, if temperatures below minus 10 degrees Celsius, 14 degrees Fahrenheit, the remote heating does not work at all.
So that's the heat pump, I think, is what they're talking about there.
Yeah.
Because we've had reports from other people saying once you get down to about minus 7 or so, the heat pump is really not effective.
So if you try to warm the car using the app, it doesn't activate the heated seats. It doesn't activate heated steering wheel unless I leave it on before switching the car off from your last drive. It doesn't warm up. It just blows cold air.
So that's the heat pump,
Yeah. And finally, the car doesn't have the capacity to warm the battery. Car doesn't start below negative 20, minus 4 degrees Fahrenheit if it's parked outside. No resolution other than towing it to warmer places like a heated parkade or garage. And I think that that's the biggest issue. Like, somebody who can park it in their garage, let's say if you've got a heated garage or it's just a warmer place for the Outlander plug-in hybrid, the concern is, what if you drive to work and you have to park it outside all day long and you cannot plug it in?
Okay.
Mitsubishi Canada did say before the cold snap hits, make sure you have that vehicle plugged in at all times.
The only thing is it's creating heat from the current going into the battery. Once the battery's full, there's no more current going in. Therefore, that resistance heat isn't going to be that effective.
No.
Now, somebody just this morning, I read a comment, Andrea, on that video, so you don't have it here, and I'll summarize it. He has this vehicle, lives in Calgary, parks the vehicle inside his heated garage, and it's plugged in. And he said at minus 38 degrees Celsius, almost minus 40 Fahrenheit, he started the car no problem. And then he went out and he left the car for over 8 hours. And then the car restarted again. Other people are reporting that the car will start, but it goes into what they call turtle mode, which is just limping along using the gasoline engine, and you don't have full power, which could be dangerous.
And they're saying the fuel economy is terrible when that happens. I took a screenshot from a viewer who shows it on his dash that the power is less. It doesn't actually say turtle mode, but it's basically the same thing.
So this isn't good news for a brand that has had major success this past year with this product. The Outlander and the PHEV has been a runaway success, but we didn't really have super cold weather until this past week. So now people who bought these last year are feeling the effects, but they'll have to adjust how they live with the car. So try and keep it in a garage, try and keep it plugged in.
Plug it in before the cold snap starts. So if you know the temperatures are really going to drop to that minus 20 Celsius, definitely plug it in before. No, in Vancouver, we had record low temperatures as well here, and we were at minus 12 Celsius, which is 4 Fahrenheit. Am I right in saying that?
No idea.
I think it is.
I only do Celsius.
You'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 4 Fahrenheit. And we didn't have any problems with this. It started when we wanted it to start. It charged when we wanted it to charge. So obviously it's when it gets to a certain temperature.
Just know this. Just know this when you're thinking about buying it.
And actually one of the viewers said, I wish I knew this before I bought it. Well, I think that's the issue, is that we don't know any of this until people start experiencing it.
But it's the same for all cars.
All EVs.
No, all cars. Cars don't like minus 40.
No.
It's extreme for anything. And electrified cars and EVs, we saw loads of stories out of Chicago with a bunch of Teslas that were bricked as well. But but cars can brick.
But
Regular
gas models, you have to plug them in too sometimes to get them
course.
to start
Yeah.
in cold temperatures. So I think with an electric vehicle, you just have to manage it in the winter time. For those who don't want to manage it, then maybe a hybrid is a better option.
Yeah, but the difference is you can have your gas car block heater, so the oil is warm, and you could have, a good battery, or you could even jump the car, and the car will start.
That's it.
That's the difference.
Yeah. I know this poor guy had to tow it to a warm location to warm it up. And when he contacted the dealership, do you know what the Mitsubishi dealership told him?
Bring it here, we'll warm it up.
No, he said, wait for warmer weather.
Yeah, no kidding. Way to go. Hello, Cap. Is that Captain Obvious on the phone?
I mean, come on. Love your videos. Thank you. Do you feel that new tech is actually bringing down reliability scores for Toyota and Lexus? I own an NX 450H Plus, and this car is the most recalled with the most issues like the wireless charger, 12-volt battery issues, frozen door handles, and it goes on.
I would suspect that they're not recalls. They're probably technical service bulletins. They might be recalls. I'm not sure. But yeah, if you come out, listen, Toyota has had so many new products, and a lot of these dependability scores will not show up for 3 years.
Yeah.
Because dependability is a 3-year marker, and we'll start to see with all of these new cars, with all of this new in-dash technology, if it's going to be reliable.
Although I think the J.D. Power dependability study that comes out next year, Lexus is always on top. I wonder if it will drop
But
now.
those are from 2021 cars.
2021.
yeah.
Oh, 22. Yeah, 2021.
So all the new tech.
So you might be okay one more year, Lexus. And then after that, anyway, the Lexus NX PHEV, the 2022 model, has a safety recall because of a wiring problem that could trigger a vehicle fire. Now, it's not all models.
We're
it's
just
a
gonna
certain
check it.
time. No, but it's also a certain time frame that they were built. So dealers have been instructed to replace the DC-DC converter. So there you go. But yes, it can be a problem with reliability when a vehicle is brand new. We saw that. I always go back with the Acura RDX. When it got a redesign, it had so many problems and it just wasn't reliable. But now today I can say, yes, get the RDX. It's so reliable because they have fixed all of these issues.
And that's the one thing about, Toyota as a brand is what they call continuous improvement.
Yeah.
Not just in the vehicles, but also in the way they put them together. But that's not going to help you.
No.
I would say work with your dealer, get it fixed, and that's the good news. It doesn't cost you a nickel.
But you are right. It does bring down their scores for sure with all these issues. With so many legacy manufacturers having user interface issues, that is a biggie. Do you think they should follow Polestar's lead and use Google software? Porsche has decided now to use Google because the Volkswagen software has many problems. So they're going to move in this direction. We see others. We see Volvo with the Google. I like it a lot. I think even the voice commands are excellent. It is probably one of the more accurate systems in my opinion.
All right, so don't be confused. There's Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. That's how your phone gets mirrored on the screen. This is called Google Automotive. This is the back end of the system, the operating system of your head unit. And the beauty of it is it's able to do interact with the car, components of the car. So you can just say to the assistant through your radio, turn on the heated seats, pop the trunk, open the sunroof, stuff like that. If it's embedded, if it's capable in the system, but that's where we're going. The next layer on top of that is Chat GTP is going to be embedded in cars. And you would why are you going to say to Chat GTP, write my English essay on the way to school? No, you're not going to do that. What it's going to be better at is voice recognition and more natural language.
We talked to a manufacturer about that. Zach actually said to them, what, are you going to write an essay in your car? And they're like, no, it's just more accurate voice commands, which makes a lot of sense. It's what people want. I think that is the most frustrating thing when you ask a vehicle to do something and it says, I don't think I can help you with that. I don't recognize that.
But that's what I said is, Google, because we use Android, is excellent at voice recognition. He says the Chat GTP is exponentially better. So we'll have to wait until we can try it out.
But I also have people who don't like the whole Google Automotive system, saying they don't like it, that Google listens to them and knows their information. But
Listen,
I'm okay with that. Look what we've got. Zach and I go on a walk, we talk, and all of a sudden I get it in my
in your
feed.
ads.
Yeah, saying
Yeah,
to
like
me,
if like say
how do they know?
we go for a walk and we have our phones with us and we start talking. Maybe it's time to get a new mattress, for example. Then next time you're on your computer or on your phone, it's like all these mattress ads. It's like, oh, they're listening.
Yeah.
And if you think they're not listening,
They're listening.
they're listening.
Love your show and reviews. Thank you. What are your thoughts on the Kia Sorrento in terms of reliability? Is the 4-cylinder engine too small for such a heavy car?
Well, the one thing is that's beautiful about the Sorrento is you have options. You've got the available 2.5 liter turbo, which
Yeah.
has got a lot of power. You've got good old regular hybrid and plug-in hybrid, so it comes with a lot of options, and it has a less powerful engine, the basically non-turbocharged.
I think that's the one he's maybe talking about.
I think it would be perfectly fine. We've driven it. We've driven the turbo, but we've driven the non-turbo in like the Kia Sportage, and I found it was totally fine.
It was fine. The only concern I have, I don't think you're looking at the turbocharged engine anyway. I actually didn't love the transmission in that Sorrento. Now, we did drive it in the Santa Fe and it seemed better. So I don't know if it was just our press vehicle that had kind of a sluggish transmission. I'm not sure about that
But
because
that
we
was
have
also
driven.
Yeah, but that was a while ago.
But still, we have driven that particular turbocharged engine in the Santa Fe, and it's been very good. The Sorrento gets great reliability scores. It's been around for a while. Of course, it's getting a refresh soon, so I look forward to driving that one. But for now, it's very reliable. I have to say, my mom's neighbor ordered a Kia Sportage plug-in hybrid, couldn't get it, but a Sorrento plug-in hybrid came and he absolutely loves it. He likes the size and how open the cabin feels.
But also it's a 3-row. Okay, so the other ones we're talking about are only 2-row. The third row only has 2 seats, and then one of the problems is with the gas one you can get a bench seat in the second row.
Yeah.
But with the hybrid and the plug-in you give that up. So just keep that in mind. If you need to take 3 kids in the second row, for example, you want the gas one.
I have a 2021 Venza and I'm looking to upgrade to a luxury car and something that is peppy, eager, and a bit fun to drive, which the Venza is not. I want something that is elegant, good to drive, and comfortable. The Q5 is at the top of my list. Is the Q5 worth the extra dollars, or should I wait for the new generation to come out next year?
Well, I think you can have your cake and eat it too. You can do a short-term lease, like for 2 years on a Q5, and then the new one will have come out. You'll be able to see what it's all about, and you'll be able to see the pricing, and you'll be able to see the feature set that it comes with.
Yeah.
And then you can, at the end of the 2 years, you can, trust me, the Audi dealer will gladly welcome you into their arms to get you in a new Q5.
Yeah.
They really work to keep you in a brand. So that's what you might be able to, if you need a Q5 now, you could do that.
Yeah, I think that the current Q5 is fine. It has outdated tech. I think the interior is quite outdated. The exterior is held up well. It's got a beautiful design to it. I'm not crazy about the light steering in Audi models, so make sure you enjoy that. You're coming from a Venza where the steering is light as well, so that may not bother you at all. I've had a lot of women reach out to me who really like the Q5 because of the lighter steering, so that's something to think about. And if after a while you get tired of the old tech in the Q5, like Zach said, upgrade to the brand new ones.
I'll just say,
see what it's like.
The one thing you're going to miss about the Venza, you are going to miss, is how much fuel you save compared to having a turbocharged 4-cylinder in the Audi that requires premium fuel versus regular gas in the Toyota hybrid system of the Venza. That's going to be a bit of a shock to your wallet. But if you don't care, if you're like, no problem.
If fun is your game, you're going to have a lot more fun in the Q5, but you're going to pay a lot more for fuel in that vehicle. Not great fuel economy, and we even have viewers say that the fuel economy is just okay in the Q5. Sometimes they don't even get those EPA
That's
numbers.
because it has a turbo, and you put your foot into it, and you're having that fun, Andrea.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But you're using the fuel.
And I do have a heavy foot, as you guys know.
All right, so that's it for today. If you want to get a question in, how do you follow along?
Follow along on Instagram at motormouth_Andrea. Every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific time, I put a post out. Once we gather our questions, the post is deleted and we start the show. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time.